Animals everywhere are taken and being held captive from scientists for various experiments. In my speech, I want my audience to think about, should animals be tested for scientific experiments? Animals everywhere are taken. To be specific, 100 million animals a year are taken for scientific experiments. From one source named Ian Murnaghan, a scientific writer, she proposes that animals help find cures and other discoveries. These animals help find new medications and new antibiotics for various people around the world. On the other hand, Crystal Lombardo, a vision writer, claims that animals should not be taken around the world. She proposes that animals are humans too. She proposes that animals should not be treated no different than these other humans. They should not be tested upon and abused by these scientific experiments. There are pros to the argument. Animals do actually help find new cures and new discoveries around the world. Medicines every day are found. New discoveries around the world are found under these diseases and under these new diseases that coming up out of nowhere, and are cures around the world for AIDS, HIV, and even cancer. Now, although there are some pros to my argument, there are some cons. Animals are being tested upon and abused by scientific writers. These experiments are not okay for animals. They are led to be very uncomfortable. They are led to be animals being held captive inside of cages and abused of their power. I want to propose this to my audience as a question. Should animals be tested in your opinion? Yes.
I think they should be tested because without them, we wouldn't be able to have as many breakthroughs as we currently have. Like, all of our vaccinations are tested on animals first, and vaccinations really help eradicate some diseases. So without those, we wouldn't be able, like, we would be really sick. Like, we would have more, we'd have more diseases like the bubonic plague and polio. So I think animals are essential to the scientific community for testing. Yeah.
Well, sir, do you show any sympathy towards these animals that are being tested on?
I mean, the animals that they're testing, to my knowledge, some of them are like raised specifically for that. Like lab rats, they're raised specifically to be tested on. Like animals on a farm, they're raised specifically to be killed. So that's the purpose.
What about the fish, the apes, the chimpanzees, the reptiles, and the amphibians that I have done research on that are being killed just because of these research everywhere?
I think that's really tough for the animals, but you know, I just feel like they're collateral damage. You know, as a means to an end, somebody gotta die.
So, may I?
Yes.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that you want the test to be done on them so we can't die, but it's okay for them to die. How is that okay?
I mean, in the animal kingdom, does an animal really think about another one when it's taking its life? It's thinking about itself. Like when a lion kills something, it's not thinking about, oh, that deer or whatever they eat had a life. He's thinking about his own survival. So
Well, should humans be involved in this natural selection that is in these jungles or wild that you are preferring?
Are we already? Because when we eat these animals, like, we're gonna kill them anyway. So we could just, okay, if an animal got AIDS, died from AIDS, and the vaccination don't work, we just clean the animal and we just eat it. You know what I mean? I just feel like we're already killing it and making clothes out of them and, you know, making food out of them. So if we're gonna kill them, might as well just do it for scientific purposes to benefit us, don't you think?
Well, do you think that there are any alternatives other than animals?
Yes.
Like what?
Never mind.
Well, so far scientists have came up with other alternatives by testing on other patients or other people who have been diagnosed with that specific disease that they have had, and they are trying to find new samples that can help cure that specific disease. Yes, sir.
I have a question
Yes.
about what you just said. While there are alternatives, would it be at like the same rate as if we used animals? Because we could stop using animals, but I think that would significantly slow down the process for vaccinations and things like that.
So basically you're asking if like the process is like how long the process would be for each human that you are testing and each animal that you are testing. Are you asking like which one is faster?
Yeah, so if we were to stop testing animals and like shift our testing back to humans or like just simply on humans, how slow would that process be and how effective would it be? No. What?
But animals.
Well, sir, I don't have the specific testing, like how long the test will last or how long the test will go, but I do think if we keep doing the same process, then humans will have to make a change, as I just said.
But
Yes.
I feel like this. Animals, they don't have souls, honestly. So, like, if an animal dies, it doesn't worry about if it's gonna, where it's gonna go after it dies, because it doesn't really matter, because animals were made to die. Me, I'm kind of worried, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to stay alive. So I feel like the ends justify the means. Okay, little kitty Whiskers, she had to die for me to get cured from AIDS. I mean, I just feel like it is what it is. We're the top species on this planet, so we get to call the shots.
Well, sir, what if these animals were to take over one day and think about what have you done to their ancestors, or what have you done
That's called karma,
to?
and that's what I get. I mean, it is what it is, but if it happens, it happens. But right now, I'm going to take the opportunity.
We'll cross that bridge
We
when we get
cross the
there.
bridge when we get there, if we ever get there.
Yes.
So you was up here talking about humans being the alternative. Do you agree with that alternative?
I don't either agree or disagree with that alternative.
Bisexual.
I believe that the only alternative to animal testing is humans. So we have to choose. We have to choose if we're going to test ourselves or are we going to test animals. And I think the option is clear, that we're not going to test ourselves. It's inhumane. And we have to test animals because it's the only solution to be able to solve these. I mean, humans can consent to these tests, of course, but I don't think it's humane for them to even be given the option.
Well, what about the tests that are found through plants or various seeds that are coming out of the ground? Like, what are the tests about plants and that have found cures for us?
I believe some tests work like that, but I don't think all tests work like that. I think a live, breathing, active thing has to be able to do that.
Well, I'd like to thank my audience for giving me the time, and I would like to say that animals are being tested upon around the world, and animals should or should not be tested.